Hey Kevin, it's Jim. Sorry for the delay in making this video, man. I've been a little bit backed up with these, but wanted to get a video review out to you and take a look at your site. So when I make these, I really like shooting from the hip and just giving you some info on just what comes to mind, some feedback on what comes to mind immediately. So let's get to it. Man, this is a really great first image. I'm a huge fan of making a very strong first impression. If you think about it, when someone comes to your site, you need to be able to immediately tell them and make it very clear what it is that you do. If you don't, they'll leave. So a good way to assess if you're doing this well is to check your bounce rate. Take a look at Google Analytics, look at your traffic, see how long people stay on your page. If they're leaving after just a few seconds, you're either bringing in traffic that is not interested in your product, like in other words, too broad a marketing, or they don't understand what you do and then they leave. Also look and see how long or how many different pages people look at in your site. But I love what you posted in Facebook and how you just make your own product, have your own product, do your own shipping. I think that's really great. There's nothing at all wrong with drop shipping, but there's an element that you don't control, and that's difficult. One of my companies is Wet Shave Club, and we have men's shaving products for men. And we used to have a third party ship for us. And, you know, they were nice guys and all, but golly, we just could not control the quality. The packaging was poor, the timing was off, it just was bad. And we took shipping back in-house, and that's been a much better decision for us. So I applaud you for that. I think that's a really great idea. Okay, so I like this image here. The most valuable area of your site, the most valuable real estate of your site is before the fold, meaning before I have to scroll. And this is good. I'm actually a fan of having the image fill the whole screen and not really having this header, like double header thing here. It's a small detail, Kevin. I mean, don't get too worked up about that, but just in general, I like to have the image fill the screen. Take a look at this. I wrote a blog post. If you go to my blog, it's blog.groovejar.com. This very first one, how to boost your conversion rate with the killer first impression. I do a deep dive here on making a strong first impression with your website and give some positive and some negative examples. This is one of the positive examples. This is a Shopify site that this is before the fold content. They have this large hero image. It makes it clear what they do. The toy shades, right? So you know that they sell shades. She's wearing shades here. The image fills the whole screen. I'm just a big fan of that. So on your site, you could do that by kind of making your black and coal logo maybe white, which would be kind of a nice contrast on the image here. Just experiment with some different things, maybe do some dark shadings around the size of the image. But you've got a really great quality image. Another thing that I would consider doing is making it a little bit larger. It's like you need to convey what you do in imagery as well as in words. So activated charcoal, I'm not super familiar with this concept. In fact, this is quite new to me. So I read, you know, it's hard to see introducing and it's hard to see tooth polish. I'm like, well, what do you do with this? So my recommendation would be to in this bold text, make it more clear. So tell me what you do in one line here. Activated charcoal to polish your teeth, or polishing, getting the best polish on your teeth possible with activated charcoal, or whatever. I mean, you need to really study that and think about that. Make it very concise and punchy, and make it clear what you do. But otherwise, you're on point, and you're way further ahead than a lot of folks in terms of design. So this is looking good. This is fine for social proof, this app. I would just slow it down a bit. It's distracting. It's a little bit too much. So I would slow the frequency down a little bit of that. But I certainly understand where you're going with that. Okay. Yeah, this is a good, immediately into the product. I like simple, man. I like niching down, and I like simple. I love that you actually don't have a ton of products. And it's just very clean and no pun intended, and simple. Okay, so let me read this for a sec. Yeah, Kevin, you're definitely on the right track with this. I'm a fan of articulating the benefits. So, like, think about in a product description, you need to have features. That's important. You need to have specifications of your product, and then you need to have benefits. So think about the person that you're marketing to. Think about one person and write to him or her and sell the benefits. Well, how am I going to feel when I use this? How am I going to feel about myself? What are the emotionally charged words that would sell your product? Think about that for a while. Like, seriously, take some time and just consider what those words be. What are the emotions that you get in using your product, and then convey those and put those first. Emotions and benefits to the client first, and then specifications. So you've got to sit down and really study what those emotionally charged words are that sell. Another key element is having really good photographs, really high quality photographs. I mean, I think you've accomplished that here. There's only so many ways you can photograph, activated charcoal, I guess, but I think that looks good. And then another key element is reviews. So I would really like to see some reviews right here, like maybe a bar here that has some reviews. Ideally, people smiling, happy, and testimonials about the product. Because you're having well, I haven't seen any reviews yet. I don't know if you have more later, but those are definitely important. Okay, so let's watch the video here. Kevin, this video is solid, man. Really solid. Have you seen the designs that have a video embedded here at the top? That would be really sweet. So think about this, like your thumbnail image, right? The placeholder image for the video would be whatever you want it to be. And maybe even consider having your model there, smiling with her teeth covered in the charcoal, and then she's brushing it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine a still picture like that. That would captivate what it is that you do immediately. So imagine a still picture of her, really high quality photograph, her brushing her teeth, right? Smiling, all of that. And then they can play the video right here. So it's front and center, it's before the fold, they play it, and boom, they know exactly what it is that you do. I mean, it's great that you have it, period, but less folks are going to scroll down here. So check this out. Okay, so look at your Google Analytics for, say, the last month. You've had X number of people. Let's say you've had 1,000 people on your site in the last month. How many of those people played the video? So look at Vimeo and see what your statistics are. See how, if this is the only place that they can play it, right? See how many people actually played the video. So see if people are scrolling down. And if only a small percentage, or smaller than you would like, is playing the video, consider moving it. Because, I mean, that's a great video. It's well done. It sells what you're doing. So I would definitely make it front and center. Okay. You have some blog posts here. That's really awesome. I like that. Just aesthetically, I would like to see the pictures all even, so they're the same size. It's a very minor detail, but it would be more aesthetically pleasing, and then everything would kind of be on the same plane. So consider that. Okay, let's look at the About page. That's an important one. Yeah, so immediately, what I see here is the need to have your picture. So people really enjoy doing business with people, not with brands or not with companies. So if you have a photograph of yourself, or you and your wife or girlfriend, like whoever is part of the team, introduce yourselves. I mean, you do here as Kevin, but I mean, introduce yourself by your picture, smiling, happy picture. It builds trust and credibility, and it says to the person viewing it that you're going to stand behind your brand, that you're going to stand behind your product, and support it and support them. And then also, I'm a big fan of making this copy a little bit larger. It's just a little hard to see. And when you put a picture here, having the copy wrap around the picture, so the picture is not like down here below the fold. Do you know what I mean? So having it just wrapped around. But it's great that you have this info here. But yeah, I just like the connection that is made when you have a picture of yourself. Okay, last thing. If you go back to your homepage, so think about the most valuable thing that you have, the most valuable commodity is the attention of the visitors on your site. When you don't collect an email address from them, you have no way of proactively reaching back out to them. They come to your site, they leave, and you cannot reach back out to them. You could do some retargeting, and you should do that, but in terms of engaging with them specifically, you can't do that. If you collect emails from them, then you have the ability to work them down your sales funnel and continue to engage with them. So I highly recommend putting an email collection pop-up box on your site. I can tell you they work really well. My company, the one I showed you the blog of, GrooveJar, we have one called GrooveUrgent, and it's a countdown timer that converts extremely well. And we use it on my other companies as well, and it's responsible for a good majority of our sales. We have a free trial, and then after that, it's $39 a month. You don't have to use my company. There are others out there that are really good as well. Privy is a good one. SumoMe is a good one. The point is you're missing out on sales by not capturing those email addresses and working those leads. And I get that you have this down here, but historically the capture rates on these are really, really poor, and just don't do the job that I'm talking about in working those leads and nurturing that relationship. So definitely recommend that you do that. All right, Kevin, I want to be mindful of your time and not make this video too long. Please let me know if you want to take a deeper dive on anything else or have any specific questions. I'm happy to chat more about it and to give you a hand anywhere I can. Take care, man.